What's up, guys? I made a few more minor tweaks to my castle, so before doing a replay video I'm going to wait for a couple of replays to come in from that defense. They weren't too big of changes, but I have been making a lot of changes. I mean, I can take a look right here and you can see that it's a completely different castle from what I made before. I completely gutted the first room. The ending is pretty much the same, except I replaced the Pete Poundmore with like 3 Webmasters, because Webmasters, I mean 3 of them are obviously going to be better than 1 Pete Poundmore. 2 of them can replace the 1 Pete Poundmore that I took out, and then I had some extra points because I upgraded my castle to level 30, and I replaced that. You know, replaced IMAXs with Webmasters as well, just because it's my only level 30 unit right now. I'm still waiting to get enough gold to upgrade my research lab. I upgraded my summoning portal already, that's why I have Webmasters, and I've been farming gold all day. I'm just taking a break to record a video. But yeah, basically I changed out everything, and I've been slowly removing more and more rotating fire traps because they're just not that good right now. There's a lot of problems with them. You know, the AI bugging out, the footprint being larger than any other trap. Well, not any other trap, obviously spike traps are large, but larger than ballista traps, and them being 4 points instead of 3. It just all is really bad for these guys, and they're just not that good anyway. Like, only if you're standing in the flame for the entire 4 ticks is it really worth it. So that hardly ever happens. So I've been switching it out, used some more spike traps, and just kind of did this so that people couldn't kite back. Castle's still performing pretty badly. I don't imagine it's going to start performing well until I upgraded my Zeeks to level 30, because right now my Defenatron, Zeeks, and Count Nottingham are all level 26, so it's a full 4 levels under every attacker that attacks me. So anyway, we're going to do a viewer castle episode. I looked to find a few more people who had already remade their castles in the last couple of days, so that's pretty much what we're going to do today. Tomorrow, regardless, I'm going to do a replay video, and then after I do that I'm going to gut my castle and rebuild it again from scratch. Try a few more new things, not rotating flame traps. I'm not going to say that those work until I see them in another castle doing well, like actually working well, because I know I said that mouse wheel traps were bad before, and they end up being like one of the mainstream things right now. So yeah, I'm not going to say that they'll never work, but I can't see them working right now, so I'm going to have to see someone else's idea because I can't make them work. I've seen a few good things, like in the boss room, instead of using spike traps, they use rotating flame traps to keep people at bay, but it's just more points for the same basic cause. You know, 1 tick of spike trap damage is equal to 3 ticks of the rotating flame trap damage, and you're hardly ever going to be inside of them for 3 ticks. So anyways, let's jump into this castle. Troy 1, castle levels of 30, I think. So yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Alright. So here we are. I will explore for mines quickly. I haven't even been really going for mines. If they're like out of the way, I generally just try to 2-star it through the timer. Seems to be just as good. I mean, I'm just really trying to farm as quickly as possible all today, looking for people who have like over 20,000 gold and just attacking them. And so far I've been doing pretty good. I've probably farmed 300,000 gold or so today. Maybe a little less. Probably about 275. So all in all, that's pretty good. I just have about 170,000 more, I think, to upgrade my my research lab, and then I should have enough life force already to upgrade everything I need to. I also have something like 30 Pete Poundmores that I can sell. Some crazy number, because I've just been like throwing a few of them in there to save life force. Alright. Finally I found the actual way into the castle. Okay, so let's jump through here. Alright, so we have some an old school kind of defense, one that I would like a lot, but they nerfed it. They nerfed these guys kind of heavily, but at the same time they get a buff because they can stack now. I don't know. It's okay. I guess I can just pull these out. Since I already got knocked out, I might as well pull them out into where there's no traps. That probably should have been my first instinct anyway. It makes things a lot easier against Stairmasters to just kite them. the only way you can make Stairmasters work effectively like this is to have them set up kind of like this, where there's traps forcing you to take damage if you try to kite backwards. But mouse wheels don't do a ton of damage, so I probably could have kited them pretty easily, and I wouldn't have taken as much damage, but that's fine. Alright, let's just jump over here. Alright, I like that. You actually have a Snotter to pull things. That hasn't really been used all that often since Open Creation came out, because the aggro circles are so much smaller, and they don't really like get bigger with more creatures like they used to. But I do like that you use that. That's pretty good. Keeps the distance a little bit more distance between you and these smelly archers, because they're really weak by themselves anyway. Alright, so the smelly archer actually got shielded instead of the Defendatron, or not the Defendatron, the Stairmaster. Need to kill off the DPS, and then I can just deal with this pretty easily. But so far I like your castle. It's got that like segmented theme that I really like, where you have all of these little zones where you have creatures. I think that actually will work better than an all in the boss room strategy, although all in the boss room strategies are more prevalent at level 30. I don't think that's the way to do it. And I'm going to be trying something similar. You know, I kind of have an all in the boss room strategy with the mouse wheel room keeping the person in there, and it's not really working all that well, but my creatures aren't high level either, so I don't know. I'll have to see how it works once I upgrade them. I don't know, I have a couple different ideas that I want to throw in, just do new castles, so I'll probably do one a week or one every 2 weeks or something like that for the next little bit, just to try things out. But currently I'm wanting to test out Smelly Warriors, since they got another buff, and I have a good way of using those. I'm actually gonna look back at castles that I made before Open Creation, and I'm gonna just try to improve them slightly with Open Creation, but kind of similar, because the units that I'm gonna be using haven't changed all that much. The only ones will be Hungerbots. That's the one unit that has changed since then and Open Creation. They got nerfed quite heavily. When Open Creation came out, they reduced the speed of the hook. They reduced you know, the whole control resistance and all of that sort of thing is all new with Open Creation, or slightly before Open Creation. So I can do a castle that's similar to one of my really old ones, and it should still work decently. Because Smelly Warriors didn't get any sort of a nerf when we went into Open Creation, and they just recently got a buff, so it should work better than before. And then Battering Rams as well. This guy, Flame Trail, that he leaves behind is so crazily strong. If you can knock the person into that, I'm not sure. Like, I actually need to test Mega Muttons at level 30, because I went into a castle and I thought the Mega Mutton killed me, but now that I'm thinking that it's that Flameo. And they just kind of overlapped their flames when they were chasing me, and so when the Mega Mutton like threw me into the flame, it was actually the Flameo's flame, and it ended up doing like 500 damage a second and just killed me almost instantly before I was able to get up.
Wow, this door looks really impressive.
Alright, so yeah, pretty good castle. We will jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up we have Bismarck Waldstein, castle levels of 30, validated on this archer. It's actually not like acceptable to just look at their core stats, because I've noticed there's some people that have things like those added benefit things, those like Blessed Armor, Frenzy. Raised Dead is a really good one because it can take aggro off of you, especially as an archer. I'm probably going to look for gear that might have a little bit of that, because it seems really powerful. I actually just had someone go through my castle with that, and my webmasters pretty much did nothing because they were taking all of the hits. So let's jump into this. Control resistance is really good as well. I think control resistance is probably the best, but you have to have core stats to be able to make that work. Alright, so with rooms like this, I've noticed that just not even trying to kill them inside of this room is the best way to deal with it. Since I've built a castle like this, just get the mines, and sometimes you can even headshot the mine from the other side, and if there's too much trap pressure here, I will I'll leave and go back out the other way and just kite it. It looks like there probably is a little bit too much. So this will probably time me out, but the easiest way to deal with this, since I have a similar looking castle to this, I kind of know how to deal with it, at least decently well. I might still die, I'm not saying I won't, but the way that I deal with it, this is not the way that I validated my castle, but the easiest way to 100% get through a castle like this is to just kite it back outside of the boss room. And there's not much room to maneuver here, which is good on his part, but if I can get some mana and drop a volley, a lot of this stuff should die, or get really low, and start to retreat and stuff like that, and it's good. And Caltrops is actually really good for this as well. I recently switched out for that. I think I talked about it yesterday, but it does a little bit extra damage because it reduces the resistances by like 50% or something, which is pretty good. Alright, I use one more potion. Try to get a good Caltrops on all of this stuff, and then drop a volley on it. And some health globes. Grab those as I'm going through. Alright, this is bad. I'm getting like stuck. There we go. So I got a bunch more health globes, and you can do this, and like I can almost use no potions at all. I've used 2 already, but that was mainly kiting it back here. That's why kiting it back here is so good. I'm actually not sure how the game reacts to this, and I should probably test it. Maybe if someone knows, they can comment. But basically, what I'm wondering is if you kite something from the boss room to another area of your castle, what hard cap does it use? Does it use the boss room's hard cap, because that's where the creatures were aggroed from? Or does it use the other room hard cap, because you're standing and fighting in the other room? I'm actually not sure how that works. That's one of the areas of aggro that I haven't actually done the testing on. Actually, if I go a little bit quicker, I should be able to 3-star this, so let me see if I can do just that. I just have to get into these mines, and I should be able to get some extra time from the mines. Yeah, I should be able to 3-star this pretty easily. So yeah, that's just a weakness to... where is the other mine? There it is. This is just the weakness to all in the boss room strategies that I've noticed. Alright, so there's the 3rd star. 20 seconds to go. This is similar to my castle, except the front of mine is different. I have a little bit more kiting room, but it all has traps in it, so it does make people not want to kite backwards nearly as much. If you have like two or three rooms that all has traps that they have to go through as they're kiting, it's a lot better for you, and it'll keep people in the boss room. I don't think the mouse wheel room itself is enough to keep people inside of the boss room anymore. As you can see right here, you know, I'm able to do it with only 2 potions. So if I fought it inside of the boss room, I would have had to use a lot more because there's a ton of trap pressure, so I'm not able to get Caltrops in good positions, go back and volley it without getting hit by ballistas, which will just slowly tick down my health, and I would have to use more potions from that. Because once I got them outside of the boss room and into the entranceway, I didn't have to use any potions after that, because the health globes are enough to keep me alive. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, next up is Granto. His castle's level is only at 26. He commented on a video recently and said that his castle was doing pretty good, but he wasn't using, I think it was mouse wheels and rotating flame traps, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so we'll see what he has when we get in here. I haven't actually attacked his castle since then, so I'm interested to see what he's using, but at level 26 it's a little bit different than at level 30. People's gear kind of skyrockets at level 28 and 30. It's just really big gear upgrades when people are well geared and stuff like that. It's a lot harder to kill someone. Like, the damage that your monsters get from level 26 to 30 isn't nearly as strong as the health increases that people get, so it's a lot harder to kill. You know, a knight with like 5,000 hit points compared to a knight with 3,800 hit points or something like that. It's a lot more hit points that people have to tank. I would say that I was having a better time killing people pre-patch though. But I mean, it's just this castle that I built. I just don't think it was all that strong. I was testing rotating flame traps, and I think they're just still very awful. For the point cost that they use, and also the space inside of your castle. Well, like, I wasn't able to get them in the best positions that I wanted, and stuff like that when I was building it. It just wasn't that good. I think jelly walls got weaker as well, but not as much. I've seen a couple good uses of them. If you can drain the person's mana, especially on an archer, and have a bunch of traps or like a Zeke or something like that to do follow-up damage on top of that, they're pretty good. Like, they're not that bad. But I think that's the only situation where they're good. I think leading, like having just one jelly wall, like right here, instead of mouse wheels leading into this, you could just wait for the jelly wall to disappear. And sure, it wastes some time. This is kind of stupid. I don't know why I just jumped on that, but whatever. It's fine. I'm getting some stun immunity. That's about the only good thing about it. Do I want to go forward or do I want to kite this back? I think kiting this amount of units, like kite as much as possible. So I basically aggroed as much as possible, and now I'm going to kite it back. I think that's the best option. And I use one potion to do it. I probably could have gotten away with not using that potion, actually, if I was more daring. Because I could have killed all this stuff, and then that would have dropped health globes. See if I can time out that Defendatron shield. And then just kite stuff backwards. With no trap pressure, this is why I always talk about trap pressure when I'm building a castle. If there's an area of your castle that doesn't have trap pressure and you can kite to it easily, you take no damage. And if I hadn't used that potion up there, I could have healed off of those health globes and still be at 4 potions. But being safe is okay as well. It's better to be safe than to die with 4 potions, like that's the worst. Alright. Again, time out that Defendatron, get the volley off. That kills off a little bit. These do a lot of damage to IMAXs, but I don't know. Without having... I also need to get better about getting my mines so that you can't walk behind them, because I think mine can still be walked behind, which I don't like. I like limiting the space as much as possible. So I need to figure out exactly how to do that. But yeah, IMAXs, unless you have something to move the attacker around, they're probably going to be able to dodge it pretty easily. They may have to take like a ballista shot to dodge them, but that's okay. There's quite a bit here. I'll just kite it back out this way. And if I go up here, I'm wondering if they will kite towards me. Like if they'll go through the traps to come to me. Yeah, it looks like they will, which is good. Alright, this is a Griefer Jimbo. Haven't seen him a ton. I'm not sure if he's better than Personal Bubble in terms of... well, I mean, if he gets a Resurrect, he's probably worth it. But then again, he dies pretty quickly. And I took a Stairmaster shot, which wasn't good, but... I'm inclined to try out Personal Bubble Jimbo plus Enrager Puppeteer. Used to be something that could work pre-open creation in very specific circumstances. Like if you didn't have room to kite and you got an Enrage on him against an Archer, he would just shred the Archer. Because every time the Archer got close enough to lower the shield, the Jimbo would get an attack because he was enraged. This is a good jelly wall because it lowered my mana down so I couldn't roll through it. But that's all the jelly wall could really do because there's no follow-up damage. That's why I always talk about if you do get them stuck, you have to have follow-up damage on the jelly wall or else it's not worth it because then it just disappears. So it doesn't have that like anti-kiting potential that it used to, which is the biggest part. That's why you would put them in front of like boss room entrances. You'd have like a jelly wall, 2 mouse wheel traps, and then a jelly wall on top of that as well. And that would limit the kiting at least a little bit more. Or springboard traps or anything like that. It would help force those things to hit a little bit more often. I don't think I got the... Oh yeah, I did get the star. Okay, well that's good. So I ended up 3-starring it. You know, pretty standard castle overall. It's really hard to make castles at level 30 that will actually kill attackers often enough. You know, I think the only thing that you could look at here is that you have a lot of kiting room at that very big the very entrance to your castle. Maybe you can move the creatures somewhere farther into your castle, so it's harder to kite all the way back to that point. Or maybe you can remove that room and add a little bit of trap pressure right at the entrance instead. Anything like that will help a little bit, but I'm not going to say that it's going to like make it so that this castle is just killing everyone. I'm not sure that there is castles at level 30 that can kill everyone. I have died at level 30 since, you know, I've gotten my gear upgrade. I have absolutely died. But I don't know. I'm going to try to make a few more castles, see if I can make something work, but it's very difficult to get a castle that actually will be successful, even after the balance patch. I've said what I think needs to be changed, and that is utility mobs. Anything to add utility to monsters instead of just straight up stat increases. I think we need to go back to better Hungerbots, better Scorpios, Pete Poundmore and Cyclopses with their charge, having longer stuns again, things like that, and maybe even nerfing control, like nerfing stun immunity slightly. Maybe not remove it completely from the game because that would be broken, but nerfing it slightly, making it maybe 30%, take like 30% longer or 30% more times that something that stuns you hits you to build up to max or whatever. I don't know, something like that could be tweaked. I think that to make other units usable again, you have to have something to help support them. Because, Stairmasters with that eye line need to have a Hunger Bot or need to have a Scorpio or something that can pull the attacker into them, or else they're never going to be usable. What are other units that aren't usable? I don't know. It also helps Jimbos. You could have a Scorpio or a Hunger Bot with Jimbo and just keep pulling the person back towards them. That used to be something that could work. I don't know. I mean, there is support units, but it's all about like silencing the attacker. There's no displacement effects anymore, and I think that's what the game needs currently. I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing, if they end up doing anything. They said that it's the first balance patch of many. I'm not sure if this means we're going to get balance updates every month now, or if they're going to take, a 6-month break or something like they did before. But we'll see. Anyway, this is number 3, so I'm going to end the video here. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please subscribe. Tomorrow I will almost certainly have a replay video. If not, I might just skip the replay video and start rebuilding my castle from scratch. We'll see what I do. So far I only have a couple of wins and a lot of losses, so there's not really a ton to really show in my replay video. I guess it's just like why this doesn't work. That's about all I can really talk about with it. I can't have any like hilarious kills or anything like that. I think there was one really good kill, but I'm not sure if a balance update might have ruined the replay so you can't watch it anymore. But there was one that got killed by my eye-line IMAX that I had in there, which was pretty awesome. But other than that, there wasn't really much. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you want to be a part of your castle, you can email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. Level 20 and above castles. That's pretty much it. So also add me to friends list so that I can attack your castle. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.